Hello and welcome to the original. It's the Lawrence County Football Show on NCTV 45 coming at you. Well, when we get to April, it'll be for 15 years. The Lawrence County Football Show up next right here on NCTV 45.
Entrusting your loved one to a funeral director is a very personal and emotional decision.
The William and Roger DeCarbo Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1941.
At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili and has been for nearly 100 years since we opened in 1923 with our chili locator on our website. Want to own your own MP Coney Island? Now you can with our franchise system. At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili.
The Berg Bar in West Pittsburgh, 1118 11th Street in West Pittsburgh, has many delicacies you have to try. Authentic food, watch the game, get some great food. And it's so hard to choose. There are so many great things there, from burgers and wings. Listen to music, enjoy friends at the Berg Bar. They also cater. The Berg Bar at 1118 11th Street in West Pittsburgh. Call them today. Well, hello and welcome to the Lawrence County Football Show right here on NCTV 45. You realize that it is 15 years since we've been in existence. We were the first, the original, and we started off carrying Red Hurricane football. So let's talk about the Canes right off the bat. The Canes scrimmaged Beaver, and that was a 3A school last week. Now they're going to go up against Woodland Hills, a 5A school, for the Classic from the Wolverina. That's what they call it. And this on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Okay, and we're going to talk about the conference that the Canes are in as we get a little bit towards the end of the show, but the conference kind of seems favorable. The schedule kind of a little tough as they enter in going with 2 away games right off the bat, and you know, it should be noted that and I'll just say this, I don't feel that any team anywhere, whether they're in Lawrence County or beyond, should start off with 2 away games. I think that puts undue pressure on the team and the community, because a lot of these communities in Western Pennsylvania really get out and enjoy their high school football. Next up, let's talk about the Wilmington Greyhounds. Wilmington having a scrimmage against Freedom, and as they bounce back into that District 7 type attitude. Now they're going to be taking on Slippery Rock, who is a 3A school, and this will be an interesting lineup for Wilmington. You recall that they struggled a little bit last year, even though they made the playoffs, but the team they struggled against was Farrell. So maybe a little tougher game with Slippery Rock might be just what the doctor ordered. Meanwhile, and before we head off to a break, we're talking about, the Union Scotties. And the Scotties find themselves in kind of an interesting situation. Okay, if you look at the Scotties over the last few years, you know, Coach Kim came in, and right away they went to the state championship game. Then the decision was made for them to play up, which was questionable. Well, now the Scotties are back in single A, and we'll talk about the Big Seven in a moment. But they scrimmaged Elwood City last week, who is a AAA school, and they're playing Sharpsville, who is a AA school. And then next week, they're going to go up against New Brighton, another AA school. So the Scotties really playing a tough schedule as they open. They'll be at Sharpsville. They were at Elwood City. They won't be home until September 4th when they take on New Brighton. So there's the first grouping of our schools, and we're going to get to Mohawk right after we do this. Welcome to D&B Promotion, where our goal is your mission. Looking for promotional products? You've come to the right place. Whether you are looking for a specific item or just browsing for ideas, our company is your one-stop source. Have questions? Just call us at 724-856-3045, or if you prefer, email. Send questions to bpia@dnbpromotionitems.com. You'll really be impressed. Remember, our goal is your mission.
Hi, pizza friends. You can still find delicious Augustine's Pizza at your local supermarket. The folks at Augustine's Pizza hope that their pizza is always your first choice for any and all occasions.
GEM building contractors and developers are on the move for you. Yes, GEM builds communities, whether it's health, corporate offices, athletic facilities. GEM can design things to your specifications. No job too big or small for GEM. Yes, GEM builds communities. Give them a call today. For all your building needs, it's GEM Building Contractors Developers Incorporated. Well, folks, now it's time, as we get to the second part of our program, to talk about the Mohawk Warriors. And yours truly spent time coaching out Mohawk back in the day. Mohawk having a scrimmage with Reynolds, the Reynolds Raiders, their 1A school up in District 10. Now, the Warriors on the travel log here, as they are traveling to California to take on another 1A school, and that at 7 o'clock, as they'll be coming home for a backyard rivalry with the Laurel Spartans. Laurel, and let me digress a second. Mohawk here in a very tough conference. Okay, the only team they took with them from last year was Neshannock, as Neshannock and is in that conference, along with, if you want to say, Riverside as a possible other tri-county school. But the Lancers and the Warriors seem to have gotten isolated in that 2A mix-up. It'll be interesting as they go through. It should be noted that Western Beaver also moved up into that conference, and we'll talk about the conference when we bring it up on our graphic for you. Neshannock in that AA slot with Mohawk, as I was telling you, and this is a different kind of a conference. They scrimmaged Laurel. Okay, they'll open up on the road with Bishop Canavan. And then they'll play Southside and then bounce back to New Brighton, Mohawk, Freedom, Beaver Falls, and AAA North Catholic. Very challenging schedule before they conclude with Riverside and Western Beaver for the Lancers. That can spell some really difficult times for Neshannock in that conference, as well as the Mohawk Warriors. Now, since we were talking about Neshannock opening up with Laurel, why don't we get to Laurel? As this will be interesting. Laurel scrimmaged Mercer. Mercer not a District 10 power. But their first game here will pit the Lancers and the Spartans together, which we remember how Mohawk had a really good time with the Lancers last year and then came up with a loss to the Union Scotties the very next week. So this at Neshannock, look for Neshannock to be remembering that game. This will be on Friday as well. Now, we're going to take a time out and hear from these great people, and we'll be right back. Because you deserve more. It's 4-Star Pizza. We deliver too. Easy Clean Car and Van Wash, where your clean wash is our goal.
Come dine with us, come dine today. Come to Gallows, Italian Villa today.
Well, we are back, and just like that, we'll head off. Since we were at Laurel, might as well head down on to Elwood City. Elwood City playing a Triple-A schedule this year, and they prepared with the Union Scotties in their scrimmage. But they're going to step up and play arch rival Riverside. If you know anything about Elwood City, know that their arch rival is Riverside. And I mean rivalry. So I have relatives down in both places. Trust me, this is a big one. And then they'll go on to play Freeport and their AAA schedule, Freeport Avonworth, who isn't that bad, and step up to play the Blackhawk Cougars, who sit directly on the other side of Elwood City. So Elwood City opening up with some big rivalries, and then going back to the old, what I would call MAC conference, even though it's changed, because they're going to conclude with Hopewell, Ambridge, and El Equipa. The only thing they didn't do in this schedule is play Newcastle, quite literally. So could be a real tough going for Elwood. We wish them all the best with that. As we move over to Riverside, Riverside scrimmaged the Shenango Wildcats, and we were hoping for footage from that game. However, it didn't happen. And as I said, Riverside opening up with Elwood City. Then Riverside will go on to play Southside and Riverview, where they take a break before they play Western Beaver and New Brighton. This could be really kind of rough going, because they'll have to get their breather with Southside and Riverview. After that, straight Double-A schedule for the Panthers. Starting with Western Beaver, always tough. New Brighton, who's their neighbor next door in a big rivalry. Freedom, who sits on the other side of Riverside. So that a big rivalry. And then, like, if it wasn't bad enough, you go right down the hill into Beaver Falls from Riverside. Because Riverside, you cross from Elwood into Beaver County, if you don't know this. And when you cross in, the first one you get is Riverside. As soon as you go through it and start down the hill, you're at New Brighton. If you go through that and continue down the hill, you're at Beaver Falls. So this has rivalry sitting all over it. They don't get a break till the last two games of the season, if you call it a break, where they pick up Neshannock and Mohawk, respectively. So it could be an interesting season for Riverside as they start with that. Now, when we come back, we have some interesting Well, you know what? I'm going to give you one more here. And the Blackhawk Cougars, and I appreciate you folks from Blackhawk because they are viewers of NCTV 45, and especially during football season. Blackhawk going up west against Western Beaver in a scrimmage, and then it's rivalry week, 2 weeks in a row, as they play Beaver Falls. Now, some of the kids at Blackhawk back in the day used to go to Beaver Falls. Not many people know that. And also, then they'll take on Beaver the very next week. Now, if you go down Route 51 and you go down one side, you go into Beaver Falls. You go on the other side, you're going into Beaver. This is a true rivalry weekend. They'll play Our Lady of Sacred Heart, which is a AAA school, and they'll bounce back and play 4A Shaler and then 4A Newcastle as Blackhawk playing in the 4A loop. So this could be a very, very difficult Parkway Conference schedule for the Cougars moving through, and the rivalries just continue. Now, we're going to take this time out, hear from these sponsors, and we'll be right back with a whole lot more on the Lawrence County Football Show. Today's programming furnished by a grant from Joseph's Supermarket. Special thanks to Joseph's.
At our law firm, we see you. Come see us at lgkg.com.
The Crane Room is a restaurant. The Crane Room is a bar. The Crane Room is a banquet facility. The restaurant will please you time after time with their diverse menu. Ask about their daily specials. See the menu at craneroom.com. The bar gives you an abundance of choices with 35 beers on tap and always changing. Their banquet services are always to perfection.
And back we go. And as we're concluding on our high school portion of this, I wanted to note two schools that I think should be included in this Lawrence County Football Show, and I'm going to get to them before I get to you folks at Shenango. The team I'm going to talk about here is the Butler Golden Tornadoes. Yes, an arch rival for at least the Newcastle Red Hurricane. They asked to come back into District 7. They were in a very unfavorable position as they were being put into a 6A loop where the travel, the size of the school, they were just outgunned. Well, all the thought process wasn't to let them back in this year during the alignment year. So they're playing an independent schedule. Here's their schedule. They scrimmaged the Armstrong Riverhawks. Now they're going to play what I think is a good 4A school in Shaler, and that's really kind of where the Tornadoes should be. Taylor Alderdice is a city school, but they position them in 6A. They'll play Meadville again. They'll play Austintown Fitch in a non-PIA game. Then they'll play Hickory, Hollidaysburg, Baldwin, Highlanders. They're a 5A school. Clarence City, so they'll go inside. They'll play Erie, which is a 6A school up there. And finish with Central Clarion Wildcats, which is a AA school. The district, if you're that locked in a district the way Butler is, sorry to disappoint you folks, they should have been in it. And by the way, Farrell and Wilmington, I know they sit on the edge, but this is more about putting the teams that were grandfathered and were part of this WPIAL and District 7 in long before you try to shuffle everything around. I think tradition has a place in the conference. That being said, we go on to Kennedy Catholic, and the reason I'm going there is they've been, because of numbers, they've been playing an 8-man schedule. So they scrimmaged at Sebring last week. They'll play Coventry Christian School Eagles. This is a non-PIA game, and they're at Coventry at 3 o'clock, and this on Saturday. And we'll try to see what we got coming out of there for you. And then they'll return home. They play 3 Ohio schools, and then they'll go back and go to St. Joe's in Ohio, Stryker in Ohio, St. Mary's in Ohio, Windham in Ohio, and Cardinal Stretch in Ohio. So a lot of Ohio schools playing that 8-man football, something that I don't think we've thought about here in Western Pennsylvania so much. Now it's time for the Shenango Wildcats. Well, the Wildcats, we carry a lot of their games. We know a lot about them, especially over the past few years. They've opened up with Riverside, which is their traditional scrimmage. They'll be taking on New Brighton. And I'm saying remember the catch. As that score was tied. If you look back, it's non-indicative of the game. Score was tied. Ball punted by New Brighton. High. The ball was coming down. We slowed it down a couple times to take a look. It was a very tight call and very close call. But that kind of changed the complexion of the game as New Brighton was able to score on the turnover in that possession. Look for the new look Shenango Wildcats, who have quite a few more people out with their new coach. This will be a great week 0 game. This a home game at 7 o'clock at Shenango. Let's go Cats. Now what we're going to do is take this break, come back, and we've got so much more to talk about right after this. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target. Well, friends, Capa de Monte. Yes, at the top of the mountain, you'll find Hilltop Restaurant, where the dishes don't match, but the food matches your appetite. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or any soups available, they have hamburgers and so much more. They also do catering for you, so your next event, try the Hilltop Restaurant. They're open from 7 to 7 on Monday and 7 to 2 Tuesday through Friday. And we're back, and time to look at the conferences and where everything's fallen. Let's open up with the Canes first. Newcastle in what I would call a tough 4A, well, and conference, as that's the schedule for the week. And let's glimpse over to here. There you go, Parkway Conference. Now, the Canes in a very difficult Parkway Conference here with a lot of rivalries. Newcastle Montour, we know that's big. We know Newcastle Central is big. Blackhawks almost an in-county rivalry. And the Canes have had their times where Mars has had the better team, but Newcastle's had the better score. This, not a lot of teams in that Parkway Conference, as only 5 teams, and one of them is Newcastle. So look for Newcastle to try and jump over it and get a real good start. But remember that schedule, very, very difficult for the Canes. Now, as we take a look at the 3A, and they call this the Western Hills Conference. Elwood City, sandwiched with Ambridge, Aliquippa, and Hopewell. That is a lot right there. If you remember, the Canes tipped the ball last year in a 4A contest, and there was question on if it was tipped, and Aliquippa making a good showing in that 4A. So Ambridge playing 4A last year, Beaver playing 4A in the last couple years. That's going to make it a tough sled here, as Hopewell had a great team last year and they moved up, and Sacred Heart is no slouch. So this will be a very difficult conference for Elwood City to kind of be able to make some noise in. Now, as you look at the Double A conference, this some interesting stuff as Mohawk and the Shannick get put in with everybody down the valley. I believe that they can remain competitive. Freedom is a school they can beat. I believe New Brighton, a school they can beat, both for Mohawk and the Shannick. Riverside will be a rivalry. Western, always good, but they have a chance against them. I think the team you have to watch for is Beaver Falls. As we go to the Big Severn Conference, and this Union coming back into the Big Seven. And what will they be greeted with? A very tough Laurel team. If you remember, Laurel, very, very good last year, and great running back, great quarterback. Can't say enough positive things about them. Southside, always a quality team. Shenango played them tough last year. Northgate, not so much. But Rochester, again, quality team. You've got Southside. Cornell always puts a good showing on. So the Cats and the Scotties will have a pretty difficult time in this thing, but they'll be fighting it out with Laurel as opposed to, and it'll be the backyard rivalry variety that you'll see. Now, as we take a look, let's take a look at what's on tap for this week for the scoreboard, if you would. And Newcastle at Woodland Hills, and we remind you that game will be a Saturday game. Wilmington, Slippery Rock, Union, Sharpsville, Mohawk, California, big travel there. Neshannock, Laurel, probably game inside the county you're not going to want to miss. Elwood City at Riverside, that's a big rivalry. The last three are huge rivalries, as Elwood City, Riverside, Blackhawk, Beaver Falls, and Neshannock, Laurel. Really toast the town there. And I don't want to be remiss on this, as you're probably saying, hey, Angelo, what did you do here? Because, well, I got to type the Wildcats in as on their own kind of line, as this Shenango team with a lot of kids out. This should be good as they take on New Brighton. Go Cats. And you can watch the game right here on NCTV45, just to give you a heads up on that. Didn't want to leave them out. Let's go Cats. And good luck on that one. So we did the conferences. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL and some college football. And I'm going to give you, I printed out something here that I know you're dying to know. Right up next on the Lawrence County Football Show. Friends, Capodimonte.
These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Well, friends, Capodimonte. Yes, at the top of the mountain, you'll find Hilltop Restaurant, where the dishes don't match, but the food matches your appetite. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or any soups available, they have hamburgers and so much more. They also do catering for you, so your next event, try the Hilltop Restaurant. They're open from 7 to 7 on Monday and 7 to 2 Tuesday through Friday. Well, folks, Lawrence County Football Show back to you again. And let's talk about the NFL first. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking their stuff up to Buffalo to take on Geno Stone and the Buffalo Bills. Maybe they'll get some wings up there. That's 7 o'clock on Thursday. New England taking on Cleveland. Cleveland's defensive tackle, season-ending injury. Cleveland could be in for a long season. San Francisco takes on the Raiders. Both the last two games at 8 o'clock. I'm not big on a team that keeps changing cities faster than they change their underwear. And that goes for the Los Angeles. Or now they were the Los Angeles Raiders. They were the Oakland Raiders. Now they're the Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry. Go Niners. And the Los Angeles Rams, they're taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, a team that keeps changing and changing and changing. As the Rams moved to St. Louis, then moved back to Los Angeles, and the Chargers were in San Diego, they moved up to Los Angeles. Are they playing the shell game in San Francisco? I don't know. So, San Francisco and the Vegas Raiders are on ESPN. Everything else on the NFL Network. And let's go Steelers. As you get to your Friday, games start at 6, and you're getting, as I kind of peer around my thing, you're getting Washington, Baltimore. That's 6 o'clock. That's a rivalry, folks. And maybe close to a Pittsburgh Steeler type Baltimore rivalry. Remember, they played Philadelphia last week, Baltimore, and that's huge. Atlanta at Miami, 7 o'clock. Houston at Carolina, 7 o'clock. Giants, Jets, 7:30. Are the Jets for real? You're going to find out. Tampa Bay at Jacksonville, another in-state rivalry. New Orleans takes on, and that at 7:30. New Orleans then takes on Jacksonville at 7, or Tampa Bay takes on Jacksonville at 7:30. New Orleans takes on Dallas, 8 o'clock ESPN. Arizona takes on Green Bay at 8 o'clock. Seattle, Kansas City, 8 o'clock ESPN. The Cincinnati Bungling Bengals, they're taking on Philadelphia, 8 o'clock CBS. And Minnesota takes on Denver, 9 o'clock. And that is your Saturday matchups. Your Friday matchups, excuse me. Your Saturday matchups, Detroit and the Colts, 1 o'clock. And then Chicago and Tennessee, 6 o'clock. So they're playing that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then that's it for NFL preseason. Now, before we get to all of the college stuff, let me remind you that for those of you that don't know, I am a Notre Dame kind of Notre Dame guy. The question became, and back in the day, they were always playing on grass. And then they went to artificial turf. Now, when they did this, they had to dig down, and which made the playing surface lower and the stadium walls quite higher. It really was an architectural type thing to do this. Now, there had been all kind of resources used out of the Victory March for titles of the website and video series that they used. Shake Down the Thunder, Wake Up the Echoes, Her Loyal Sons, Cheer Her Name, Strong of Heart, Rally, Strong and True. All great names, all invoked in connection with Notre Dame. So when it was time to do the end zone and do that stuff around the stadium, what were they going to do? This question came up. And keep in mind, you're talking about, for you folks that don't know, you're talking about a good 12 years ago, 13 years ago. This was 2013, 2014. Now, early on, and especially in the Lou Holtz time, they put those diagonals in the end zone. It really didn't have anything written in the end zone. So, Notre Dame being Notre Dame, and I'm very proud of this, they made the diagonals at 42 degrees, 42nd degree diagonals. And it was a 42nd degree from the sideline and the out of bounds line. Why 42nd degree? Well, first of all, they point directly at the Golden Dome. Moreover, Notre Dame was founded in 1842. So you're probably saying, well, what about the 18? They cut to 42. So they put 9 diagonals in one end zone and 9 in the other, and 9 and 9 is 18 for you people that went to either Pitt or Penn State. So I had to get that into all my Pitt, Penn State, and West Virginia buddies, but they don't have math down there. In West Virginia, that's a master's degree program. So I know I'll take a lot of heat for that. Okay, the Irish do not open this weekend, but if you were wanting to watch college football, North Carolina taking on TCU noon on Saturday. San Jose taking on USC, 3 o'clock NBC on Saturday. North Carolina State takes on Virginia, 3:30 on ESPN. And know that the ACC is on ESPN because North Carolina TCU is on ESPN also. Jacksonville State taking on North Dakota, 5:30, CBS Sports Network. Sacramento State taking on Eastern Michigan, 6:30. That's on the Plus. 7 o'clock, Hawaii and Stanford get together, ACC Network. New Mexico State takes on Florida State, 7 o'clock on the CW. And Memphis takes on UNLV, 10 o'clock on Fox. Now, I do want to do a few shout-outs here, as I believe probably this is some important stuff. If you were wondering perhaps about the Duquesne Dukes, they're not in action. They will take on Air Force. And they will take on Air Force on September 5th. So as I wear my Duquesne red, let's go Dukes on September 5th. And also, it should be noted that Youngstown State takes on Kentucky on September 5th. So I don't want to hear that I wasn't telling you about any local schools. And if you were wondering about, yes, my tried and true Notre Dame Fighting Irish, on September 6th, they take on Wisconsin, 7:30, that on NBC. That's a Sunday. So they'll go to church in the morning and watch Notre Dame in the night. The other thing that you should know is for you Pitt and Penn State guys, power rankings, Notre Dame was rated number 1. Penn State was rated 17. Pitt in the power rankings was rated 35. And West Virginia, you were ranked in the 50s. That's according to ESPN. Don't get on me about that. I'm just telling you. Okay. On the final rankings with how they stand right now, which really doesn't mean too much of anything, Notre Dame is rated number 4. Okay. And Penn State, they're coming in at 18. Okay. And if you look down the road, Pittsburgh got 7 votes to be in the top 25. The Panthers might have a good year this year as we take a look at those rankings. So good luck to all. That was the Lawrence County Football Show right here on NCTV45. And we're happy to bring it to you as we do every year for the last 15 years. So, yes, folks, we scored a touchdown and kicked a field goal once and went for 2 the next time. So it's 15 years of Lawrence County Football Show on NCTV45. Hey, folks, have a great week. Remember, the key to having a great season and a great football experience is sportsmanship. Make sure you show the proper sportsmanship and have a lot of fun. Make sure you tailgate too. NCTV45 will be carrying the games and giving you the scores and updates right here.